Okay, so for this particular lesson, we are going to talk about Pablo Picasso. Now, I know this says oil pastel. That is what we do when we're in class. Actually, we can't even use the oil pastels for this particular project this year. So we're all going to use markers, crayons, and colored pencils. But we still want to do the same concept and idea. So let's take a look at some of Picasso's work. This title is called Guernica, and it's a pretty large painting. And in fact, it is here at our school. So when you guys come back, and hopefully we do soon, you can see if you can find it. It was painted by an art club a few years ago. But this particular picture is the concept of what we want to deal with Picasso. And if you notice, the faces of not only the animals, but the characters all have a unique, they all have a similarity to them, and it's very unique. And what it is, it's called multiple viewpoints. What he is doing is he's taking the side view of a nose, the side view of a mouth, side view of an eye, with the front view of an eye, two eyebrows, and an ear. Now, if you have both eyes here and both nostrils here, what's on the other side of the head? Nothing. It's impossible for that to happen. He even did it with the horse and the bull. In fact, look at the head of the bull. It's turned around facing its own tail. Is that possible? No. Again, side view of the mouth, front view of an eye, front view of an eye. This ear is correct, that ear is correct. That horn's okay, but if there's two nostrils here, what's on the other side? If you have two eyes here, what's on the other side of its head? That's the idea of multiple viewpoints, combining a front view with a side view, and you can even do it with the body. You want to have some fun with this. You want to play around with it. Make it look a little bit crazy. So here's some better ideas. Now, the size of what you are going to do is going to be important. You are using a large piece of paper for this. This is the largest piece of paper you're going to work on. For this, we don't need to see the entire body, unless you want to. You need to do it at least from the shoulders up, though. So let's take a look at the idea of the multiple viewpoints. Again, side view of a nose, front view of a nose, front view of a nose, side view of an eye, front view of an eye, front view of the mouth, side view of a mouth. And in case you're wondering, I'm just going to do a little drawing for you here on the board. So if you were to draw the front view or the side view of a head, this is what it would look like. And this is what the side view of an eye looks like. This is what the side view of a mouth would look like. So as you can see, you've got the side view of the nose here. Forgot his nostril. But then he's got the front view. You've got a side view of an eye, but you have a front view. You can't have that. Now, this is where the side view of the mouth comes in. This is actually the side view, just like I drew on that, but then he goes ahead and puts in a front view of the mouth. So again, it's up to you. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can do it in a realistic way, or if you would like to, you can do it kind of more with shapes. And again, notice the size. The head is the main focus. We want you to at least start half from the shoulders up. Again, if you want to do an entire body, you can, but you don't have to. And again, this is a more realistic version. This is a non-realistic version. Side view of a nose, side view of the mouth, front view of a mouth, side view of an eye, front view of an eye. Again, side view of an eye going one direction, side view of the mouth, front view, two nostrils, front view, side view. Now, if you notice, you see the entire character, but it does use the entire piece of paper. Again, your paper can go in either direction you would like, depending on what you want to do. By the way, again, you could do this in a person or an animal, because that first picture we saw, those were horses. I've seen people do this many of times. I've seen people do sharks and fish and bears and dogs. Anything you want to do, as long as you combine a front view and a side view, which is multiple viewpoints. Now, you can even get crazy with this. Notice, you have the nose on one side and eye on the other side. So you can combine that. That's still a multiple viewpoint. Again, front view of the mouth, Side view of a nose with 2 front views of a nostril. So again, multiple viewpoints. The size is the main focus. That is the key. It's all about size. Now, Joan Moreau approaches this in a little different way. Now, he doesn't really necessarily work with multiple viewpoints, but the reason I want to bring him up is to show you how you can create some characters by using shapes. And he does that a lot with his characters. So, as far as shapes go, if you look at this particular character here, notice how simple the head is. It's a circle. You can elongate things, which means you can exaggerate. Here is the character's neck. It comes down. Now, if you look at this, it's actually in the shape of a guitar. Notice the arms. They are nothing more than lines. And look how small the feet are compared to the rest of the body. So again, can you exaggerate? Yes, you can have a large head, small body. You can have a large eye, small eye. That's fine as long as you incorporate multiple viewpoints. Now again, he's not really working with multiple viewpoints, but he's creating his characters and exaggerating them. Here is another character right here. And if you see, the head kind of looks like a chicken. Here's its neck. Here's its torso with its arms. But notice, this line comes down to where these feet are. Kind of looks like a mustache. I've heard chicken legs or chicken wings as well. So again, it's your choice on that, but you must have a multiple viewpoint. So again, you can create it realistically or out of shapes. And these, again, have full bodies on their characters. So you can just focus on the head if you want, or at least from the shoulders up. We've talked about Roy Lichtenstein before. This entire character is based off of shapes. Now, this actually has some multiple viewpoints in it. So let's talk about that really quick. Do you really know where the nose, eyes, and mouth are? It's kind of hard to tell. Make sure we can tell in your picture. I believe that this is the side view of the eye. Here's a front view of an eye. Notice, we have a side view of, what is this? The nose with the nostrils. And where is the mouth? Haha, I'll let you figure that one out. This is actually a portrait of a woman, but the idea is it's made out of shapes. It does incorporate some multiple viewpoints, and if you notice, it's the entire size of the paper, and it's large. So once you get your character done, we're going to talk about background and a setting. Now, behind the character is the background, absolutely. But there's also a distinction between that. A background is this. It's just a color. There's nothing to it. A setting is a place. I would like you to draw a setting in your picture. What kind of setting can you have? It's up to you. The one thing about a setting, though, you need what we call a horizon line. What is a horizon line? It's where it separates the sky from the ground. If you were standing on Lake Road and looked out at Lake Erie, you can see a line that cuts across. It separates the sky from the water. It's the farthest point your eye can see. That's a horizon line. So if you're outside, I need a horizon line. If you're inside, we need a horizon line. What's the horizon line in this picture? This line right here. And what is it doing? It's separating the wall from the floor. So now you have a horizon line inside. So you can have an indoor or an outdoor. It doesn't matter to me. Just convince me. You don't want to make it really crazy. If you notice, this is a very simple setting. This line cuts straight across. You have the floor, you have a wall. How do I know I'm inside though? Puts a window. It's very simple. You don't want to do something too drastic and too intense or involved with your background. You want to keep it simple. This is a setting or a background. We're not sure. Why? Well, you see something that looks like stars or possibly fireworks. It could be outer space. Do we have a horizon line? No. But if you're in outer space, do you need a horizon line? No. What do you need? Stars, planets. Make me believe where you're at. If you're underwater, you don't necessarily need a horizon line. But what would you have? Maybe you would have fish. Maybe you would have seaweed growing from the bottom. Maybe you might have the sand at the bottom of the ocean. Or maybe you might have the line at the top where the water is and a little bit of sky. That would make us know. Setting or a background? This is a setting. Here is your horizon line that separates the wall from the floor. So again, this is an example of just a plain background. We actually want to do a setting. Again, this would be a background. Why is this a setting? Because you have the horizon line that separates the wall from the floor. I would like to see you put a little bit more than just that. A window, a table, a piece of carpet, a piece of artwork on the wall. Just a little extra besides just the separation. And again, we have the horizon line here that separates the wall from the floor. Right here, we don't know. We have this line, but that's not giving us enough detail. So make sure we know whether it's a setting or a background, and you want to have a setting. Again, I talked about making things very large. Look at the size of the eye on this. Notice, that's from the front, side view of the mouth, side view of the mouth. Multiple viewpoint. This is Romir Bearden, and he does a lot of stuff with collage work, but I wanted to show you this picture because I think it's pretty interesting. Notice the size of the arm here. Look how big the arm is and the hand compared to the feet. Again, you can exaggerate things. Is this a setting or a background? Well, look, do I see my horizon line? I do. So I know it's a setting. I see a table. I see a chair. So I know I'm inside. So your entire project is based off of these three things. You must have a multiple viewpoint on your character. You must have a setting. And you can create your picture realistically or out of shapes. It is completely, entirely up to you. Again, the size is going to be important. That's enough on this. I will show you some examples and show you how to set up your drawing in just a moment. Okay, we're going to start our drawing for the Picasso multiple viewpoint picture. When you're going to remember, you can base it off of a person or an animal. Now, if you need references, please use them. A lot of the kids here, well, we won't be able to share these, but in the past, what I've done is I have books like this that you can use. Go online. The kids will be able to actually use their Chromebooks if they wanted to use a reference. Or you can just make it up on your own. Again, anything that you can do if you need help, excuse me, to help you draw. Like, for example, if you were going to do something like this and you wanted to do a shark, how would you do a multiple viewpoint? Well, instead of having the fin here and the fin on the other side, maybe you have two fins on this side, or maybe these you are here and you have two eyes on this part. So it's just some type of a multiple viewpoint. I've seen people that have done that. I've seen people that took, you know, an elephant. What if you have two ears here? What if you have two tusks and two eyes? That's a multiple viewpoint. What if one of the legs were facing the opposite direction? That's the idea of a multiple viewpoint. However you want to do it is up to you. Again, it can be based on realistic versions, or it can be done with a more shape-oriented, sorry for moving the camera, shape-oriented version. So I'm going to kind of do both really quick, and I'm going to make this kind of fast. But so here's going to be my head. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a side view of a nose, big nose. I'm going to do a side view of an eye here. I'm going to do the front view of an eye here. And we're going to put some hair. Again, it's up to you how you do this. Some crazy hair. Now again, size is important. So now I have my neck coming down here. This is going to be my shirt. So there's the size of my person. I have the side view of a nope. We didn't do my nostrils, so let's do that. We'll put two nostrils like that. I have the side view of a nose, front view of a nostril, side view of an eye, front view, side view of a mouth, front view of the mouth. Now we also need a setting. Keep your setting simple. Again, remember we talked about a horizon line. If you're inside or outside, you need a horizon line, unless you're in outer space or you're underwater. So I'm going to make this pretty simple. I'm just going to throw this right here. That's going to be my horizon line. And you know what? I'm going to throw a little tree in the background. Very simple tree. And that could be it. I have a tree, I would have it. Now I would color this in. How you color it in is completely up to you. I'm not gonna do that for you. You know how to add color. We've spent all the time, all the techniques you've learned. You can mix colors, you can shade from light to dark, you can mix one color into another, you could put texture in by hatching or cross hatching. I encourage you to try all of the different techniques we've been working on. You can use markers, crayons, color pencils, any combination for that particular adding color. Now I'm going to flip this over and we're going to do another one really quick that's going to be a shape-oriented version. So that's going to be my head, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a nose right there, and I would need to erase that, of course. So there's my nostril. There's my neck. I'm gonna put in, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have the mouth come over here. There's one eye. There's my side view of an eye. So I have, again, a side view of a mouth coming off one side, the nose on the other, side view of an eye, front view of an eye. Now I need my setting. And again, this is kind of more just shape. It's not realistic. I have, you know what, we'll just kind of do a similar thing. But for this one, we'll just do some mountains in the background. And I'm done. So again, it is up to you how you approach it. Obviously, I would need to erase this and those parts, but you get the general idea. Make it big. Again, if you notice, both examples I just have from the neck and pretty much from the shoulders down. If you want to get the whole character in, you can. It's harder to do, but you are going to be using a bigger piece of paper, so it actually will be a little easier to do the entire body if you wanted to. Multiple viewpoints. You can have the legs going in one direction if you got to that, and the arms going. I could have two arms coming off one side of the body. There are so many ways. Multiple viewpoints is just the idea of a front view or a side view, having things that are not correct. Like maybe you have the legs facing the wrong direction. It's unlimitless. It is up to you. But again, make the size big, and don't forget you need a setting, and then it's all about adding color when you are done, however you would like to do it. Good luck.